Right, let's see if this works. We're obviously having some issues. I've just spent the last 10 minutes, 15 minutes, the last bit of qualifying, talking to myself, um, which means you guys have missed some very, very nice action on track. I can remember the top three, so, oh, hello, Amy. Our top three is Amy Hoxer, Red Bull, and Zmar Racing, or Zach. Um, let's see what sort of tussle they can put themselves into. Um, as I said previously, when I was chatting to myself, I've never done this before. It's the first time for everything. My commentary virginity is being taken away from me tonight. Doesn't help I'm on 2 hours of sleep, but so you gotta get a lot of gibberishy English, but at least you'll get to watch the action on track. Of course I'm okay. Without crashing out. Oh look, here we are. Oh, can you link it to the Discord, please, Amy? Because I can't in streams updates or whatever it is. Okay, we're currently 3 minutes away from lights out. Before I have to do some proper talking. Perfect, right. I'm not talking to myself anymore. Why would I delete comments then? I'd never do such a thing. I wouldn't even know how to do that. You're awesome. Thank you for doing that. Hope you're all ready for the most mid commentary of your life. Hello, Hijab. If you lot are ready, then go. Hello, IA Gaming. I'm going to pretend I know who you are. Pretend I know who all these people are. 3 people watching. There is no pressure. All eyes on the commentator, but all eyes should be on the action. We will be getting underway in just a moment. 6 people watching. Fuck my life. Hello, Giant Stick. Let's get this ball rolling. And we are 5 red lights and away we go. I'm just been told I'm in spectator mode. Amy Hoxer gets a good start. Zach gets an even better start. 3 wide going into turn 1. End plate off of, I don't know whose car that was. Oh! Jan flying off into turn 1. What a palaver. What a palaver. He will be making some big oars right now. Anyways, let's get straight back into the action. Amy Hoxer leads Red Bull. From Red Bull leads Slayer, who got a better start than Zach. Hijab, Edin, Hayes, A Giant Stick, Big 4 and Backstappen running in your top 10 here. Okay, hopefully everybody will be settling down just a tiny little bit now before we get DRS in the next lap and we start to see who are running lower wing setups. Let's pop the track map on. There we are. That's everything I should need to know for the minute. There will be many people on 2 stops, many people on 1 stops on today's race. Let's see. Can I see what tyres people are in? Yes, I can. Everybody on the grid is on the medium set, on the medium compound. Okay, so now we're on the back, the main straight. Let's see what Red Bull can do. Can he force an overtake? 4 attempts back, probably not. There is some action. Oh, Hayes looking for a move on the giant stick, or is it the other way around? Oh, bit of contact on that back there. Everybody seems to be revving their engines at the absolute maximum, so let's not look at that. So I'm just going to hurt a lot of people's ears. Let's see, position change. So from the start we have Slayer up 2 positions in P3, Hijab up 3 positions in P4, Edin doing the exact same. Zach is down 6 positions. He will be very unhappy right now, considering Imola is one of his stronger tracks and he is in championship contention. He needs to put in some work to take that McLaren places. Jan in the Mercedes catching up nicely to the back of the pack now. Looking to make a move on the Williams of King Fenrir, who's under AI. So he'll be looking to make a move on Bagstappen, who is now down the pace from the start. Red Bull will have a DRS this lap on Amy Hoxha, but Slayer will also have DRS on the Aston Martin of Red Bull. Let's see what he can do. Coming absolutely screaming down the straight, looking to make a move, and he decides not to. Very, very sensible Red Bull. Your time will come soon, sunshine. It'll be interesting to see what the 2 Ferraris work out. It's quite late on in the season, so they may decide to prioritise one other's championship than the other. Edin, although for Slayer, he's backing the pack up nicely for Slayer, so he can break away with the rest of them. Zach up another position. He will be on the charge, but he does need to look after the tyres. That is really not very nice on the ears. Really not nice on the ears, that. Anyways, let's change over. Let's see. Let's ride on board this second sector with Amy. There's a yellow flag in sector 2. Who was that? That's Bagstappen making a mistake. He won't be very happy, but oh, when he runs off into the gravel there, he's not going to be very happy with that. But if he keeps his head down, he's in strong contention of points if he plays his strategy right. Jan, again, hanging 4 seconds back, so he must have made another mistake. Edin goes fastest in the Ferrari. Is he? Zach making a move on Edin. What a lovely move. Keep your head down. Keep pushing. He will be keen to get on the back of Slayer. Slayer, though, looking to make a... Oh, nearly made a move on Red Bull. Now losing time to Amy Hoxha in the Kicksauber. Very, very nice splash livery on that. Very nice livery. That top 4 is tight. Zach needs to speed up a little bit to get that DRS, though. He's just within that DRS range now. He needs to have a good, very, very good second sector. But he locks up a little bit there. That will cost him maybe a little bit of time unless he can get a good exit going out of that turn. But here is where the time can be gained or it can be lost. Slayer and Red Bull getting a penalty in the same corner. Shameful, shameful, shameful. We're only that 4, boys. But that will make Zach feeling a little bit more comfortable after his race start. Now only down 1 position from his race start and his bad start. But I'm sure he'll be looking to make a move on Slayer if he can this very that. Broken the DRS already to Edin. He is flying. No fastest lap though. Let's see what midfield are doing. Oh, look at that. Look at that there. Hayes going for a move on giant stick. Very, very clean. And who is that going off into the gravel? That is Edin going off into the gravel. rejoining the track nice and safely there. We have Verstappen, who's now 34 seconds down. Let's see what's went on with him. Oh, he's already made one pit stop, starting on the mediums, going on the mediums. I do not know whether that is a wise opportunity or not, a wise option or not, even not opportunity. Jan hanging back 8 seconds. Not the day to be a Mercedes driver if you are currently looking at the standings. Probably going to lose their P3 in the constructors. Anyways, Red Bull straight on the back of Amy there, going down into the double left hander on the third sector. He will be looking to make a move this lap, I imagine. Zach closing right up, Slayer closing right up. This is going to be juicy. Going to get that DRS flap open, and I imagine he's going to get that full deploy. Is he close enough to Amy? Is Slayer even closer to Red Bull? Zach is hanging back a little bit. Let's watch this fight from the back. Oh no, positions have been changed. Nobody decided to make a move. Hayes making a move on Hijab. I imagine Hijab would have given that very willingly, because he is a good friend of Hayes, and he's also a reserve driver, so there is no contention runnings for him apart from constructors' points. Let's get up. Oh, Slayer going for a move on Red Bull, going into that left hander right there. Let's get up some statistics. Let's get up, well, not statistics, let's get up some standings. So let's have a look. Constructors. So in first we have Aston Martin with 126 points, and McLaren with 124 points, and Mercedes with 118 points. The Racing Bulls, who won't be scoring any points this week, 106. So Mercedes will retain their P3 regardless of the result tonight. But between McLaren and Red Bull, this could all change. Another 3-second time penalty for Red Bull. He will not be happy. That is 6 seconds of penalty on lap 6. Zach on a charge. Slayer fallen back a little bit. I probably missed that because I was too busy looking at my phone for standings. Zach absolutely flying. He'll be absolutely furious from that start 7 laps ago now. But he is on the charge. A giant stick. Oh, Edin and Hijab changing positions yet again. Looks like Hijab might have made a slight mistake. Hayes with 3-second time penalty. I can only imagine what words are coming out of his mouth right now. You've got giant stick, P6. Zach in P3. This will be a good day to be McLaren. Red Bull all over Amy Hoxer again, but will she gain that time back in the straight? I imagine she probably will. Zach needs to be patient. Oh, contact there with Red Bull and Zach. That's made him squiggly on the exit from the chicane. But might he be close enough to make a move? We will find out. I don't think he will be, to be honest. He's a bit more patient, a bit steadier on them brakes. Let's see what happens here, right now. Let's see if there's any other on-track action. The midfield seems to be separating themselves. I'm very sorry for you midfield runners. I'm focusing very much on the front. There is a tight championship fight going on that people need to be watching. If you don't know, then get to know. Let's see what Hayes is up to. Keeping it relatively clean despite Red Bull has made a mistake. He's off onto the grass. He is down 4 positions. Zach will be very happy. Zach will now be starting to chase Amy. But what a bummer for Red Bull. The man who could have brought back some championship contention now down into P7. But Red Bull is a very, very quick driver. I have got no doubts he will work some of his magic to claw his way back up the pack. We'll have a very happy Slayer who's now in P3, and even happier Hayes, who seems to be on the charge, closing that gap down to Slayer, who is deploying just before we're going down the hill, so on the exit of that chicane to close up that gap a little bit more. 0.8 seconds. Can he? 0.9 seconds. Can he close that gap anymore going down this back straight? He'll be full deploy and he'll have that ERS flap open now. On the charge. Zach making a move on Amy Hoxer. He will be very happy right now. Amy Hoxer will be looking to make a move back, but she has not deployed any of her battery. What could be going on there? Unless she's not sharing them. Oh, she is deploying now. Right, let's stay on board with this battle. This is going to be fierce, ladies and gentlemen. Big Boar in the pits for his first stop. Looks like he will be on the 2-stop here today. Amy Hoxer getting into some clean air. Horrible track to be in some dirty air. High engine temperatures around here. Burns a lot of fuel. That would have been a very, very brave move. 3-second time penalty for Jan. But Amy will be running some lower wings than Zach, so she just needs to keep her head down. She'll have that position back on the straight unless Zach can create a lot of breathing space coming out of this chicane. Let's see what he can do. Will it be enough? Amy's going down the hill. We'll try and get that move done past that DRS detection zone, going into final 2 corners. Can she make it stick? Yes, she can. Lovely, lovely, clean move from Amy there. She'll have the DRS, so she can just break away just a little bit more. Happy, happy days. And happy, happy fighting. But Zach is sticking with her. Could Zach possibly make a move? He's looking for it. He's looking. Whoa. Hayes all over the back of Slayer. We've got a very, very, very nice fight for the top 4 going on right now. Red Bull, however, all over the back of Giant Stick. He's carving his way through the field. He's got past Edin. He's got past Hijab. Let's just Edin even. But let's see what he can do this lap. Let's ride on board with him now. See what he can pull back from his minor mistake. It'd be nice if we didn't have all this revving, but sometimes we gotta live with things. Running a bit deep there, and he's made another mistake. He has spun. He will be fuming. Only down to P8, still a good chance to score points. Through comes the AI of King Fenrir. Can Bullia Caesar just very quickly nab that position? I'd be waiting if I was him. Low ERS, good man, backing out of that one. Zach, however, all over the back of Amy, coming onto the straight again. This is where all of the moves will be made pretty much this race. All over the back of Amy, he's full deploy. Will he have enough to get a move done? Going up to the back of Amy, onto the left. Very nice and clean. Oh, and he backs out. Very, very, very patient, Zach. I'll be deploying coming out of here, trying to get a move alongside. Does he go for it? He is going for it. Oh, and it's not quite enough to make that move on Amy Hoxer in the Kick Sauber. But another very interesting development battle is Hayes and Slayer. Hayes will be itching to get past Slayer, but I'm sure they'll be running very similar setups, so it'll be very hard to get past each other. Giant Stick, 3-second time penalty. A lot of time penalties. It's a very, very hard track to keep it within track limits because you are trying to push within every inch of the car's life around this circuit. But let's see what can be done with Hayes this lap. He's got a nice full reserve of energy. More battery available than Slayer. Let's turn that off for a minute. Zach probably not far back. Far ahead enough to make a move on Amy. She is very quick down that back straight. Let's see what Hayes can do. He's all over the back of Slayer. Let's ride on board with Hayes. Putting round to the left. Can he get far? Yes, he can. What a move. What a nice clean move from Hayes. Another penalty for Red Bull. Not the day to be Red Bull. That is 9 seconds of time penalties he's accrued already. Jan, what a bit of a comeback now. 5 seconds to Edin. Slayer with another 3 seconds. That is 6 seconds worth of penalties. People are racking up penalties like it's nothing today. Making it very easy for probably one of the cleanest drivers in the league. Edin just needs to keep his head down and he might make a few positions without overtaking anybody. He will be on the right tyre strategy for that. Whether he can make them hard to arse though or not. 20 laps. That's a long time. Very, very long time to hold on to Hales for. I would hold on for another 2 laps. And I'm not driving his car. See Zach a bit closer to Amy Hoxer. See what he can do on the straight. He just needs a good exit, good deploy. But I'm sure if we have a look at telemetry, it's not all. It is all telling this time. Amy full deploy, Zach full deploy, and DRS. Let's see what he can get done. Hayes pulling a nice gap to Slayer, but Slayer's in for a stop. Let's see how fast the stop is. It's a little bit of a slow stop to Slayer, but nothing he can't push from. The grid now separating itself a bit. Red Bull on a bit of a comeback, itching to make some moves. Will Jan defend 3 second time? And Jan loses it, and he's in the barrier. What a shame for the Nord. What a shame. See, hijab all over the back of that Aston Martin. He'll be wanting to make some moves on him though. Zach still sticking with Amy. Following on from that, we have Hayes 3 seconds back. Still trying to keep it clean. Only got 3 seconds worth of penalties. Giant stick 2 seconds back from 5 seconds back from Hayes. Edin, 18 seconds. That is what's separating the front runners from the midfield today. Absolutely unreal. Until they make a stop, obviously. Zach in for a stop, hoping, I imagine, to get the undercut on Amy. Hayes also in for a stop. Could this cause some traffic for Zach? No, it won't. But it might be the other way around. Zach, very, very speedy stop. He'll be very happy with that. Hayes might have been held up a little bit then, but I think that is what it is. Edin, will he get the undercut on the McLaren and the Haas? Let's find out. And he does. He makes that stick. Just needs to look after them tyres now. Be a bit fierce. Red Bull with fastest lap, presumably on the 2 stop. Let's see who stopped and who hasn't. So far we've got just 2 cars who haven't stopped. So that is the Giant Stick of the McLaren of Giant Stick and the Kick Sauber of Amy Hoxer, who is doing an outstanding job at maintaining and controlling this race. But could the undercut be enough for Zach? But more importantly, we could see Edin in contention with the undercut if he can just nurse them tyres. See how old they are. They're 3 laps old. He might be able to do it. But Zach will be fierce. Very, very technical track. And Zach does excel on a technical track. Let's see. Will this undercut be enough? Or will Amy Hoxer make it out the pits in time? Let's find out. Will Zach also make a move on Edin this lap? Let's see. That wing flap is open. Zach pulls to the left and he makes that move with ease. And he makes it stick. He'll be very happy now that Edin's got some traffic to navigate. He just needs to work on pulling that gap. Edin with 3 seconds of penalties, which is very, very unlike him. So the only people that do not have penalties at the minute are Zach, Amy, Hijab and Big Ball. We could finish the entire race and everybody having a penalty. How brilliant would that be? Not. Okay, so we're just about to reach half race distance. What a race it's turning out to be. Absolutely action-packed. Zach will be pushing to break that DRS gap between him and Edin. Let's see. 43% battery. Is he gonna... Oh, Amy makes a move on Edin just before that chicane. That is absolutely unreal. Let's see what she can do coming onto the main straight. She's a bit less battery than Zach, but she does have that DRS advantage, and that DRS advantage is worth so much around here. She does. She makes it stick. So, Jan with another 3 seconds worth of time penalties. How unfortunate. Amy, looking a bit stronger than Zach around here on them hard tyres. Could she have a better setup for hard tyres than Zach? All he needs to do though is just hold on. Stick with her, hold on. He'll get a nice gap to Red Bull. Eden, Slayer. Both of them very similar pace at the minute. Following on from that we have Hayes, then the AI Ghost of King Fenrir. And following on from that we have Hijab, Giant Stick, who's looking to make a move before the DRS zone. And he does very nicely just after the DRS zone on the house of Hijab. But he's got 6% battery. Hijab, deploy. Both have DRS, which I didn't notice at the time, but not enough to get the move done. Eden currently 5 positions up from the start. What a drive he is having today. Slayer now closing the gap to Eden. Will Eden just move out the way, or will he be hanging on to that podium position? Or will he prioritise giving points to Ferrari? Slayer all over the back of him, coming out with that sweeping right-hander. And a nice little swap there. Very nice. Nicely played there from the 2 Ferrari drivers. But will it compromise him on straight? Hayes will be looking to make some moves. Try and find that P3. But Slayer will also be looking to push to build that gap for that 6 seconds worth of penalties he has. If it stands as it is, Slayer will finish 5th. So Eden might be looking to back Hayes up a little bit. So he only needs to cover 3 seconds for them boys. Who's that being lapped? That was Bagstappen being lapped. He will not be very happy, but quite a while what road is Jan. Earlier season, looking to make a move in Red Bull, not really working, and accruing 3 seconds worth of time penalties in the meantime. We're currently at 18 at 32, and the race seems to have settled down. Zach still sticking with Amy, building a 5-second gap over the last few laps. But Zach will still be looking to make that win his around him. See what he can do right now. He's second away though, so he will not be making a move this lap. What will be interesting to look at is what Hayes can do to Eden. Coming down this main straight, he'll have the grip advantage because he'll have the slightly fresher tyres. But looks like Eden's running some slightly higher wings. Can Hayes do anything about it this lap? No, he cannot. He will just be biding his time. He might look to make a move coming down here. Will he? No. Very wise from the young man from Birmingham. Top 5, very tight at the minute. Some interesting battles coming on down here. Let's see how Red Bull's getting on. Is he closing that gap to King Fenrir? He's got 7.7 seconds and another pit stop. Let's see what he can do. Can he bring something back? He will be on the charge right now. Trying to see what he can do. We've got the yellow flag of Jan, who must have run slightly wide coming out of one of them corners. It's the only reason I can think of for the yellow flag. Currently running quite a low risk of a safety car right now. But very, very interestingly, what do we have here? We have got Hayes, we have got Edin. Hayes all over the back of Edin. He will have that rear wing flap open, and he will be trying to dump as much DRS as he can to make a move around the right. Can he outbrake him? Yes, he can. But can Edin snap back? Coming out of this sweeping left-hander here. No, he cannot. Edin will bide his time. That recharge right on for both of them. He's picking up another 3 seconds worth of time penalties. That will make Slayer feel a bit more comfortable and a bit more willing to race perhaps. But he'll still be looking to increase that gap. But that will make the man in the Ferrari behind Hayes very happy. So he only has to find 3 seconds. Zach still looking like he's all over the back of Amy, but he loses plenty of time in that chicane. Let's just watch him come down. Let's see if he can make a move, or whether Amy will bridge that gap a little bit more. 12 laps to go right now. Bag slapping with another 3 seconds worth of time penalties. Swiggity coming out of there, but he is only 6/10 away. Let's see what he can do. That rear wing flap is open. I'm sure he'll be full deploy coming down straight. Trying to close that gap up as much as he can. 0.4 seconds. 0.3 seconds. It's not enough to make a move, unfortunately. He will be getting frustrated, sat behind that kick Sauber for so long. That bogey green kick Sauber. Slayer pulling away a little bit from Hayes. But let's see what he can do in this battle. But more interestingly, Edin starting to pull back. He will be suffering a little bit on them slightly older hards that the grid is on. Julius Caesar coming in for his second stop. Very, very interesting strategies. Slayer. Will he be able to close 8 seconds in the next 11 laps? I highly doubt it, because the 2 at the front are flying. Hayes looking to close that gap up just a little bit, just sit within his DRS and pull that gap out from Edin to 3 seconds. Can he do it? They probably both can. Will Hayes be looking to make a move for P3? He absolutely will. Points mean everything. Just realised I had the spectator menu up this entire time. It's not very good. But we're trying. This is more commentary than we've had in the last 2 weeks, believe it or not. Hayes closing that gap up very nicely, coming out with that hairpin. Will he decide to make a move on Slayer? Will he bide his time? He's biding stop. Slayer makes a little bit of a mistake going around that left-hander. Gives Hayes the opportunity to be all over his gearbox. Coming out of this sweeping right-hander. Might he deploy? Might he try and make a move going into the chicane? He is all over him. It's going to be very interesting to watch. Coming out of here, Hayes is going to bide his time. He's going to wait for that DRS, and he's going to deploy after that DRS detection, I imagine. No, he doesn't. He keeps it tidy. He's thinking, okay, still got 0.6 seconds. Still got 9 laps. Red Bull with 12 seconds now worth of penalties. Is it worth him racing? That's for him to decide. That DRS flap of Hayes wide open. It's still not enough. That recharge light of Slayer is on. I would pay good money to know what wings he's running. Hayes all over the back of him. He's went out to the left. He's going to try and make a move, and he slots back in. Not feeling that brave just yet. But forcing a mistake from Slayer, which has cost him another 3 seconds worth of time penalties. He will not be a happy bunny right now. Very, very slow coming out of that hairpin. Hayes will be looking, he will be itching to make a move. He's got that 3 seconds to head in. So if he can just get his head down, he might just be able to secure that P3 spot. But now, Slayer will be thinking, I need to prioritise my teammate here, so we'll be backing Hayes right up so Edding can get close. Hayes looking for any way around him he possibly can, but I'm sure that recharge light will be firmly on for Slayer, but he will be deploying as much battery as he can. Coming down this corner, his fuel light is on, which might be concerning him just a little bit, so he may also be conserving just to get across the finish line. But Hayes, 0.4 seconds. Zach coming into the pits again. What a weird decision. For a front wing change, Zach will be gutted. I missed what happened there. That Zach will be gutted, but he will still be on the charge. Probably had a big enough gap. He had 12 seconds. Red Bull with 15 seconds worth of penalties now. Zach should have just held on. He could have held on that 12-second gap. He only had to cruise. But now he's just cost himself a load of points. But he will be on that soft compound tyre. So let's see what he can do in the next 8 laps to try and close up that gap to, I presume, he wants to close that gap up to Edin, which is where he wants to be. Red Bull just setting the fastest lap, which is great, but again, he's got 15 seconds worth of penalties, so, you know, Hayes now not settling, he will not be settled, because Edin has closed that 3-second gap up. Whatever Slayer is doing, he needs to keep doing it for Ferrari's sake. Keep backing Hayes up, but Hayes, he could make a move here if he really wanted. Slayer, 20% battery, Hayes, 50% battery. Let's see what he can do. Coming down that straight now, is he going to be close enough to make a move? No, he is not. He will be getting just a tiny little bit frustrated right now. He'll be wanting that 3 seconds to Edin, which he has now opened back up, but Edin is absolutely flying, trying to close that gap. He seems to have found a second lease of life in that hard compound tyre. Zach, however, will not be very happy right now, but he will be on the push. Can he close 11 seconds to Hijab in the next however many laps? I don't know. I still don't think whether that was the wisest call, boxing for a front wing for an end plate then, but he is sat in the car, he knows what he needs to do. Amy still building that gap. Slayer holding on, trying to back Hayes up for Edin, but can Hayes get something done this lap, Sunshine? Coming around the final 2 corners. Amy just lapping Julius Caesar, I presume. That rear wing flap of Hayes will be opening right up right now. Will that be enough for him to make a move? Very, very quickly closing that gap down to 0.2 seconds. He'll be having a little look, but he won't make a move. But let's ride on board now, because now could be more time than ever to make a move. No, he doesn't. Very, very wise of him. Let's watch him put that foot down. Is he going to make a move here? He'll be thinking about it. No, he doesn't. Runs a little bit wide and into the gravel, which will cost him quite a bit of time. Will make him Slayer feel a bit more comfortable, but there are still quite a few laps remaining of this race. Amy having a very, very firm grip on this race. If she even wanted to, she could probably box some softs right now. Focusing on the battle between Hayes and Slayer right now, because this is looking interesting. Edin lurking within that 3 seconds. Hayes will be wanting to get a little bit of a wiggle on soon. But he's closing that gap very, very quickly to Slayer. Pulls round to the right. Is he going to stick with it? Or will Slayer outbreak him? Slayer runs wide into the gravel. Concede that position. Hayes absolutely flying through. It's now his opportunity to break away. He will be charging that battery up to defend, going down the start-finish straight. Slayer, very, very, very squiggly in that first sector. That cost him a lot of time. Lem tyres will be finished now. 1.2 seconds. Hayes can start to break away a little bit. What a race it's been in the top 5 so far. Somebody to not overlook, a giant stick who is on a bit of a charge. Somebody who's on even more of a charge, Zach, who has nearly closed that 11-second gap he needed to hijab, but them softs will be starting to fall off the edge a little bit. He'll be starting to lose a little bit more time. Amy Hoxer with a 10-second pit lane speeding penalty. She won't be very happy right now. But, which puts Hayes in the contention of a win right now. This is shaping up to be a really, really good final 4 laps. He gets her. Slayer gets past. Edin gets past. Will a giant stick get past? Yes, yes he will. Amy will not be very happy right now. She has got a lot of work to do in the next 4 laps. Will she be able to do it? Let's see. Very, very, very quick driver in the race and on time trial. Amy Hoxer. A giant stick will probably just be happy where he is cruising around. Scoring some very, very, very valuable points in the last 2 races for McLaren, which will put them this race above the Aston Martin. They will have some work to do next race, as will the Mercedes. But it looks like a giant stick is on a bit of a push, but he's going to have Amy all over the back of him. Hopefully he can stick to the back of Amy and be dragged. Edin will just be looking to cruise. Just need to remember that there is a 10-second gap she needs to open up, so a lot of people might just let her go past and hope that she doesn't gap them by 10 seconds. Zach has now caught up to hijab. What a drive Zach is having. He is a man with some vengeance. Could it be enough just to pit Amy? More importantly, he will score points today. Red Bull might just score 1. Let's see, Amy already overtaking Edin. She is flying. She's got 3 laps to build up a lot of time. Zach making a move on hijab. What a driver he is. What a drive Zach is having today. He's had a few ups and downs, but all in all, look at him clawing it back. He's got 9 seconds to giant stick. I doubt he is going to close that gap up. Amy Hoxer now making a move somewhere where you wouldn't necessarily make a move on Slayer, but she's got 10 seconds to find. Will she find Hayes in the next lap or so? It looks like she will. Edin making a move on Slayer. Slayer must be starting to struggle just a little bit. A giant stick looking to make his way through the 2 fighting Ferraris right now. He is going to be all over them on that start-finish straight. Looks like Slayer might be pulling away, but he's going to look. There's a bit of contact there. He's going to try and keep it clean, because that is going to be messy otherwise. Let's ride on board. Let's see what happens here. This could be very, very interesting. Amy Hoxer closing it up a second to Hayes in the last sector. Then the giant stick going round the outside of Edin. Lots of contact there. Lots of contact there. Wow. Wow. Okay. That has just ruined Edin's race and his race. But more importantly, it is giving Zach the opportunity to push up and see what he can do. Red Bull making a move on the AI Ghost of King Fenris. Nearly opening up that 15-second gap to Big 4. He will be happy he's scoring points, I imagine. Amy Hoxer now all over the back of Hayes. Let's see what Hayes can do. He will be defending. Slayer picking up another 3 seconds, pushing him up for 9 seconds worth of penalties. A giant stick in very, very good contention of a podium position here. Edin also in a very good position where he is. But more importantly, the man of the hour, the man who will be pushing, the man who has got no penalties. Zach, who I've completely written out of this story. I forgot. He does not have a penalty. This could push him up to 3rd if he sticks with the pack. But Zach will still be push, push, push. He doesn't care. He wants to make his point out on the track. He's not quite close enough to DRS this lap, but he has still got 2 laps to make his mark on this race. Hayes now second back from Amy, but Hayes will just be cruising. Hayes will be praying that Amy does not gain 6 seconds on him. What an interesting few last laps this is going to prove to be. Zach 3 seconds away from a giant stick, who is now popped off Edin. Well done, Zach. He's going to have his head down because he could still possibly finish 3rd, which is where he started. But what a comeback this man is having from having changed his front wing. Not even. Let's see how long ago he stopped. 7 laps ago, and he has pulled over 20 seconds. That is what fresh tyres are worth round Imola. Still absolutely flying. He will be push, 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 push. So will Amy, so will Hayes, so will Slayer. A lot of people will be pushing to see what they can do on the final lap of this amazing Grand Prix we're having. Can everybody just keep it clean? Hayes doesn't want to accrue another penalty. Slayer doesn't want to accrue another penalty. Giant Stick doesn't want to accrue another penalty. Zach will be absolutely pushing, as well as Edin, try and make up as much time as they can for the people who've got penalties ahead of them. Let's see what is in store for this final lap. Everybody being patient, and Slayer is off into the gravel trap. Zach will be absolutely celebrating right now as he closes that gap up to Giant Stick. Will Giant Stick slow down 2 seconds to swap? We will see. We will see. I can't imagine he will do, but looking at the timings, there's a bit of lifting going on. Let's see what happens here then, ladies and gentlemen. Amy Hoxer taking the last 2 corners, having an absolutely dominant race until she got that 10-second time penalty in the pits. But all eyes are on the man of the hour, Hayes, who comes across to take his win. He will be absolutely screaming right now. Amy, let's see where she drops down to. A Giant Stick will be pushing, but more importantly, Zach will be crossing the line for P3. He will be very happy right now. Edin, then we have Slayer. Bad last lap. Hijab sneaks his way up to 5th. Where will Red Bull finish? This is very, very important for the championship. King Fenrir, who we're not counting. Can Big Ball close up enough just to steal a point away in the championship? No, he will not. Julius Caesar coming across. He's kept the car alive. To take P11. Jan coming across the line in an ample P12. Bad race for the Nord. What a race we had today, ladies and gentlemen. What a race. I think Zach's wheel disconnected, but still, what a comeback the man had. He might have lost the win, but he still managed to finish P3. Hayes might be a bit of a bittersweet moment for him, considering Zach is one of his good friends, but a win is a win. That is championship points for Lahas. That is championship points for Hayes, the man of the hour. He is very, very, very happy right now. Top 3, give yourself a pat on the back for making this race absolutely amazing. So, fastest lap we have Red Bull, driver of the day, Hayes. Very, very well deserved, but will our drivers still vote for Hayes for driver of the day? Most overtake Ledin, and well done, Zach, cleanest driver. So running down our top 10, we've got 10 seconds. We've got Hayes in 1st, Amy 2nd, Zach 3rd, Giant Stick 4th, Hijab 5th, Edin 6th, Slayer, King, Red Bull, Big Ball. That completes top 10. Thank you everybody for watching. Hope you enjoyed this broadcast.